Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. In this video, I've got a story about an exchange in India called Colodax adding XRP, which in and of itself maybe not that interesting of a story worth a mention on the channel, but it gets a little more interesting considering the piece that is on your screen right now, titled "Courtroom Battle Heats Up as India's Central Bank Tries to Defend Crypto Ban." So yes, amidst all of this, there's an exchange in India that added XRP. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this piece about the crypto ban. Then I'm going to cover a story about the exchange in India adding XRP. And then I'll wrap up the video with something not XRP specific. It's about, here I'll show you the title. Andrew Yang wants to make U.S. elections fraud-proof using blockchain, which I found interesting. Now, before we get going, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you just so happen to be a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. It's the best thing you'll do all day. Alright, so let's dig in. Following the final day of formal hearings in India regarding the central bank's ban on businesses and individuals that transact Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, the Supreme Court has decided to rehear arguments on September 25th, leaving the door open to a new stance on digital assets. The Reserve Bank of India, RBI, has now been granted time to reconsider the crackdown on crypto it initiated in April of 2018, when it released a circular prohibiting regulated entities such as banks and financial institutions from servicing crypto clients. According to Justice Nariman, quote, "Exchanges are not asking to uplift the ban, but they are only asking to reconsider. If you don't give an answer to it, I will pass the judgment." The case, IAMAI versus RBI, has focused on RBI's legal authority to prohibit banks from servicing clients who use cryptocurrencies. Advocating on behalf of crypto exchanges and other related business, the Internet and Mobile Association of India, which is the IAMAI, has argued that RBI's circular against private companies was unconstitutional. According to IAMAI counsel, Ashim Sood, said, quote, "RBI cannot step out of its powers as set out in the Banking Regulation Act. Therefore, its action against private businesses in the form of a circular is illegal." India's crackdown has forced blockchain developers to flee and major exchanges such as ZebPay to relocate to crypto-friendly jurisdictions such as Malta, where lawmakers have laid out clear regulatory guidelines to support the growth of the industry. IAMAI claims that the central bank banned crypto on moral grounds without presenting research on how cryptocurrencies would impact the economy. As today's hearing unfolded, evidence of research became a major focus as the judge also challenged RBI's concern for consumer protection, noting that addressing concern and enforcing protection is not the RBI's concern. Reports media outlet Crypto Canoon, which chronicled the case from the courtroom, quote, "The judge interrupts and asks how you, RBI, are concerned with consumer protection. It is not your concern, it is the government's concern and not yours." The RBI defended its decision to ban crypto by referencing a report by the Interministerial Committee, IMC, that enumerates its advantages. And here's a quote now from the courtroom. "Various portions of IMC report are being read to prove that the RBI decision is based on well-substantiated research. The judge asks for various reports mentioned in the IMC report, which the government claims as confidential. Consequently, the judge immediately calls the Solicitor General. The counsel mentions various advantages of crypto laid down in FATF, but it finally concludes that its ability to be used for cross-border payments is something which can potentially undermine monetary policy." Go figure. Example of Silk Road online black market for selling illegal drugs is being taken to prove the potential risks of cryptocurrency to be used in illicit activities. And so in reading that, look at it's the same arguments we seem to hear from, well, not literally every government, but certainly other governments. In fact, I just covered a piece in my last video having to do with China and their concern for monetary policy and the threat that Bitcoin poses to it. And then, of course, you've got the United States, and Trump is not exactly a fan. He's tweeted out about it. He's not a fan of crypto and Bitcoin specifically. And, from the United States perspective, I'm not particularly surprised given that the United States dollar is the global reserve currency. If that were changed as a result of crypto and the decentralized nature of any cryptocurrency, that could be a major problem for my home country, the United States. Maybe not particularly ideal. And then on top of that, of course, look at this though. Look at this excuse. They cite Silk Road. Oh my gosh. And still, what's funny to me? It still is the case that given that Bitcoin is not anonymous, everything can be tracked. Like a lot of these people that were buying crap on Silk Road, they done got caught. They got in trouble. And so to cite cryptocurrency as a reason, because you can buy stuff on a website or used to be able to buy illegal things on Silk Road, which of course is now defunct. I mean, that seems like a bogus argument to me anyway. So check out this piece. Now that we've caught you up to speed on what was going on with that in India, here's this piece about the exchange listing XRP. India's Colodax becomes the latest exchange to list XRP, brushes off concerns over RBI restrictions. I found that fascinating, so check this out. Recently, XRP got listed on Colodax, the Indian crypto exchange. Despite no real changes in its own price, the development shed light on the Indian cryptocurrency market, a country where just yesterday the Reserve Bank of India's jurisdiction on cryptocurrencies was questioned by the Indian Supreme Court. Colodax offers low trading fees in addition to offering in-stands deposits and withdrawals and faster transactions in INR within 30 minutes. According to the blog post, the security offered by Ripple's public ledger makes it a preferable choice for trading. And of course, we all know it should just say XRP, the XRP ledger. Nothing to do with Ripple. By adding XRP under its belt, the platform now offers more than 10 trading pairs, namely Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Stellar, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, PundiX, OX, and Tron. What, no Dogecoin? That's everyone's favorite Dogecoin. I'm going to turn this into a Dogecoin channel. I like that little dog on the coin. Good doggy. This news was released by the exchange's official Twitter handle. The tweet read, "You can buy/sell and trade XRP on Colodax. Take advantage of our broker network and get instant INR deposits and withdrawals. Ripple, XRP, XRP Army, XRP Community, cryptocurrency." These are all hashtags. India wants crypto. Hashtag India wants crypto. With the Supreme Court of India still deliberating the future of cryptocurrencies in the country, many crypto enthusiasts were curious about the exchange's actions in light of present RBI restrictions. The exchange responded to these concerns by commenting, and here's the quote, "RBI had directed all banks to stop providing any services to exchanges' accounts. To ensure smooth INR withdrawals and deposits, we had to build a network similar to peer-to-peer, and we are calling it broker-to-peer, i.e. B2P. This helps our Indian traders to trade worry-free." So they found a workaround. Now that is fascinating, and we'll see if any of this stands and that there's really going to be a legit crypto ban upheld in India. I don't know, but in the meanwhile, this exchange was like, "Screw you guys, we're going ahead," and then they list XRP, and then on top of that, we find out they got a workaround with what they're calling broker to peer. I just found that to be quite fascinating. I haven't heard of anything like this in the space going on, so not quite like this. Next piece here. And this is from Cointelegraph, titled "Andrew Yang Wants to Make U.S. Elections Fraud-Proof Using Blockchain." And by the way, there will be no politics on the Moon Lambo channel. Politics are divisive enough, and I'm not going to get into what my beliefs are, but at least in the United States, about half of the country is on the left, and about half the country is on the right. So if I were to start taking stances, well, that would be stupid because I'd be alienating half of my existing audience. Not going to do it. I'm going to keep any sort of political commentary only as it relates specifically to crypto, and even then, I'm typically going to hold back because I don't want to be divisive. I figure me talking about XRP is divisive enough within the cryptocurrency world because there are Bitcoin maximalists out there. That's as divisive as I'm willing to get. But anyway, nonetheless, let's move forward here. Democratic candidate Andrew Yang says he will implement blockchain-based mobile voting if he wins the 2020 United States presidential election. On his campaign website, the blockchain advocate says he believes American citizens should have the option of voting on a mobile device, with blockchain technology used for verification purposes. And there's a quote, "It's ridiculous that in 2020 we are still standing in line for hours." Yang also believes that, in terms of security risks, most voting machines are just as vulnerable to hackers as modern technology is. He wrote, "It's ridiculous that in 2020 we are still standing in line for hours to vote in antiquated voting booths. It is 100% technically possible to have fraud-proof voting on our mobile phones today using the blockchain. This would revolutionize true democracy and increase participation to include all Americans. Those without smartphones could use the legacy system, and lines would be very short." And I got to say, this is an interesting concept because in the last, specifically presidential election, I remember I was waiting in line to vote. Actually, no, this was election. Actually, it might have been the one prior. But anyway, I remember being in line. And I was waiting to use one of the electronic voting booths. You may be familiar with these. If not, then you can Google it and see what they look like. It's just you get an electronic screen. It's a touch screen, and you touch who you want to vote for. And there was a much longer line for that. And I remember there was an option so I didn't have to wait in line any longer. And I actually did this. This is the only time that I can recall. But I went to an old school little... Oh, what are they called? Just the voting booth. Oh my God, I'm sorry, my brain is like not working today. I went to the voting booth, and it was one of the actual paper ones where you could have like hanging chads and such, right? And so, man, what a throwback that was. But it's funny to think that and again, that was a while back when I did that, but it is 2019, and just the concept of this, I gotta admit, it's fascinating. I don't know if it's ever going to happen or anything will take hold, but I found it quite genuinely interesting, so I thought I'd share it with you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!